Hi, I'm Susan Frew and welcome to QSC TV and Pillars of Success, pillar number 9, the nuts and bolts systemizing for success. Well, coaches, here we are at systems. This is something that your clients have probably been chomping at the bit for throughout the whole entire pillars process, and here we are. The reason why we put pillars down towards the end at number 9 is because there's a lot of foundational work that needs to go into a business before we can just automatically systemize it. We need to understand the business from top to bottom and understand the areas that are creating problems and stopgaps and inefficiencies so that we can create systems and build those systems around the business. A lot of times businesses will try to put their business into a system that sometimes doesn't work. So there's great foundational principles across all industries and across our industry that people can use, great benchmarks and great ideas from other companies, but really we need to look at the culture, the organizational structure, the size of the company, and what problems they're having managing their company. Systems is going to give them an opportunity to take a lot of emotion out of the business because now we can direct everyone back to a policy. We're just going to say, hey, no hard feelings. This is the policy on uniforms. This is the policy on tardiness. This is the policy on whatever it is. And they just have the ability to go back. It's in black and white. It's been signed off in a handbook. There's also systems to make everyone consistent. Okay, so as we go through this, consistency is key in systems. Now, we'll talk about this later, but McDonald's is a great example of systems. All over the world, there's McDonald's organizations, and wherever you go, if you go to one in San Francisco or if you go to one in New York City, you might not say it's the best burger that you ever had, but you know what to expect. It's consistent. It's the same bread, the same bun, the same burger, the same pickle, the same ketchup, mustard, all of it, the same wrapper. So you know what you're getting. And that's the best way to keep and retain customers is to have a consistent experience. Nobody likes when you go to that new restaurant and it's fabulous and you tell all of your friends about it and the next week they go and it's terrible because there's not systems in place to keep consistency alive. And that's what this pillar is all about. You are going to be teaching your clients how to systemize their business. Any area. This is going to work at any area of their business. But what they're going to have to commit to right up front is getting everyone who's a stakeholder in this system on board with writing the process. Because the worst thing that a business owner can do is to write a policy and a procedure, do not involve the stakeholders who actually have to follow that procedure, roll it out, and now everyone is upset because it really doesn't fit into their workflow and they haven't been consulted and they haven't been asked if this is a good idea for their department. So we are going to get them to collaborate with everyone in their company. Every person who touches a piece of this system is going to be involved in creating the process. So one of the things that we're going to ask them right away, where do you need to upgrade your basic systems? Where do you need to implement policies, procedures, and processes? Where can you automate and computerize your processes? Not everything can be automated. So the rule to think about is this. You want to systemize the routine and humanize the exception. So if they keep to that rule in all over the business, it will be a lot easier for them to get on board. So we're going to create and implement systems. We're going to teach them in this lesson how to actually write down a process, flowchart it, document it, put all the policies and procedures behind it, and create policies and procedures manuals. We're also going to help them in giving them the tools to rolling this out to the rest of their company and having everyone on board with how this works. So we're going to go through with them their challenges, working on their business, not working in, what is a system, the benefits of systemization, policies, process, and procedures, workflows and mapping, a lot easier than they might think, technology, identifying a champion who's going to lead the way in each area of these systems, training your employees, systems integration with other things you might be using, and better systems and happier customers. Bottom line, happier customers equal higher revenue and profits, which goes through the theme of all of the pillars. So some big challenges that your customers are going to have a system challenge with is number 1, inventory. You probably walk into shops all the time and there's a huge chaos going on in the inventory department. They don't know where things are, they don't know what truck it's on, it's not recorded properly. Bam! If people are losing money, if one of your members is losing money, this is a really good place to start on a system and really dig in and identify what's going on with that warehouse. And if they don't have a warehouse manager, what's going on with the parts ordering? Are they just letting guys go to parts houses, which is really expensive and very inefficient, or do they really have a documented process to keep this under control? Because they could be losing tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars each year on missing inventory. Workforce recruitment, retention, and management, big hot button in our industry and many's right now. So how do we systemize that so that we have a better employee experience leading to better retention? Attracting millennials. So computer systems is going to be the big key for attracting millennials. If your client is still using a tablet of stone, you need to get them to get rid of that right away. They need to be using an electronic tablet because that's the way of the future. And that's the only way they're going to attract the young and hip and talented young people. Billing and cash flow, if a client is struggling because they have tons of receivables because they're not billing in a timely manner, this is a great place to start systemizing here. And then, is there a profit leak? Because there's a broken system somewhere in the company. And this is a great place to find it as we start mapping it through. So we are going to also throw in a really cool video that you can share with your clients on what is a system. I think you're going to find it really entertaining. And then we're going to take them through this mapping exercise. So first we're going to identify all of the areas in the company on an exercise that need a system. As their coach, you can really help them in prioritizing which one is going to have the biggest impact and may have a trickle-down effect on some other systems. So that's how you're going to identify what goes first. After that, they're going to bring all of their team members that apply to that system. So, for example, if it's a dispatching system that they're going to create, they want to get the office manager in the room, any of the dispatchers, maybe even the warehouse manager, and for sure a technician or someone who runs the field to get involved with the whole dispatch program to make sure that when they create that process that it's going to work for everyone and make a really happy customer on the other end. You might even ask your customer to bring in one of their own clients during this process just to hear their feedback so they really understand what the customer wants before they go and deliver a system that doesn't really work. So here it is, very elementary. They create the list of systems. They pick number one system that they're going to do. Maybe it's dispatch. They bring all of the stakeholders around the table and they have either a big whiteboard or they have a big poster board or whatever it is they're using in their office, even a wall. Every department or stakeholder has a different color sticky note. Yep, you heard me. Sticky notes. Big fancy systems processing map, we're going to use sticky notes in different colors. So what we're going to do is to map out the process. Throughout this whole pillars exercise, you are going to see samples of how you actually do a flowchart and real process management that you would find in really large corporations. We are going to boil this down and make it really simple for your clients to get their heads around and to map it out on paper. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, whatever process it is. Kind of rule of thumb, if a process has more than 10 steps in it, it's probably too long and the chances of it being followed are going to decrease rapidly when you have too many steps. So we want to make it really simple and get everyone to buy in. There'll also be exchange points. So if a customer wants to go ahead and book the appointment, you would do this. If they want to go ahead and wait and think about booking the appointment, you would do this. And maybe there's a follow-up call involved. And that would create another drop box. So we have all of this mapped out in the pillar system for you to share with your clients. So first thing you want to do, first visit, first consultation, first webinar, is get them to write down all the places that need to be systemized. Then you're going to go through it with them, have them prioritize it. Then we're going to take the team together, map it out on the board with the sticky notes. Then we're going to take a picture of that. We're going to make it a computerized flowchart. Then we're going to write a process behind each one of those sticky notes. Super simple. And now, at the end of the day, they have a process manual. Something to make it even easier if your customer is a little tech savvy, and I hope that they would be this savvy enough, they do not need to write down processes anymore. They can make videos, and they create a Dropbox folder for everyone in the company to share, and you can video all of the processes for dispatching, all of the processes for inventory, all of the processes for HR. Boom, you've got your flowchart and you've got your video. Flowchart video, flowchart video, every single area of the company. Couple of different things that this is going to do. So here's the benefit for the customer, because they're going to be reticent to do this. Systems writing is not everyone's favorite thing. Systems are not everyone's favorite thing, let's face it. But if you can get them to be on board that this will increase their profitability and increase their client satisfaction and really increase their satisfaction with their employees, that this is worth the time and effort to do it. And if you can show them that it's an easy way to do it by just flowcharting it, which is fun, documenting it, which is fun too if you're going to make videos, and it doesn't really take that much time. So we've put some examples into the Pillars toolbox for you to use with your customers, examples of how they go through this process, and then it's your job as their coach to hold them accountable to making sure this gets done. So some areas that they may want to flowchart and kind of break this up: operations, finance, manager, field, people. Right? So field and people kind of go together. So those are the areas, the big chunks that you want to get together. And then you'll go through the mapping exercise. They'll also start to understand that by creating these efficiencies in their business, they're going to be a lot more profitable. If you look at the numbers and the statistics, if you looked at how many lost pieces of mail. So if we look at that, if the post office was 99% efficient, which I'm not quite sure they are, that would mean 200,000 lost pieces of mail every single year. Probably higher than that, because I think their efficiency ratio is probably lower than 99%. But just those little numbers, the little tweak that's going to help them to be more profitable. This is also going to help them to really attract that millennial workforce and to maximize the workers that they have, because they're efficient in every way. Trucks are stocked, the guys have what they need, they have someone running out parts to them, whatever that looks like, the office is running like a well-oiled machine. That also is going to give the business owner freedom. So if the business owner is underwater with tasks and chaos and always with their head spinning around, Systems is going to take that away, take that anxiety off the table, so the business owner has the opportunity to have some freedom. It's also going to give them the opportunity to let someone else step up into a leadership role, because all they need to do is follow the documentation. So I thank you very much for watching Pillar 9 in Systems on QSC TV.